Hello students, this is the first online class of biology of class 7. I am starting with the first chapter, plant and animal tissue. Now today we will focus on plant tissues. Now plant tissues are of mainly two types, meristematic and permanent. We will come to the definition of these two tissues separately. But at first, we need to know the various types of meristematic tissues. The types of meristematic tissues are apical, intercalary and lateral. And types of permanent tissues, we can broadly divide it into two types, simple and complex. Simple again can be divided into three types, parenchyma, sclerenchyma and collenchyma, and complex can be divided into two types, xylem and phloem. Now we'll come to the explanation of each of them. First we'll go through meristematic tissues. Now you can write down the notes from here. Otherwise, if you have books, you can consult it, you can go through it. Meristematic tissues are those who have the ability to enlarge, to differentiate, to divide continuously into other types of cells as they mature. This is the main characteristic of the meristematic tissues. Now I have given some of the points under characters of meristematic tissue which will help you out. And I have written it very shortly so that you can learn, you can remember. First character you see, power of continuous division. They are living cells. Their shapes can be of various types like oval, round, polygonal. They have a large nucleus. Their intercellular spaces are absent. And they have a high capacity of cell division. This is the very important point of meristematic tissues. Now we'll see a diagram of this meristematic tissue. See, this is a diagram of meristematic tissue, and here we can see all the three types of meristematic tissues, and from this diagram it is also clear that the three types of meristematic tissues are located at three different places of a plant: apical, intercalary and lateral. We are seeing the location as well as the structure. Now the first type of meristematic tissue is apical meristem. They are located on the tip of the root, stem, etc. Just now we have seen the diagram, so I think it's clear to you. It helps in the growth of the stem and also in the growth of the roots. Growth of the stem above the ground and growth of the root below the ground. The second type of meristematic tissue is the intercalary. It is located at the internodes or base of the leaves. It helps in increasing the length of the internodes. And the third kind is lateral, which is located on the lateral side of the stem and roots of the plant. It helps in increasing the thickness of the plants. Because it is located laterally, so definitely it will help in the increase of the thickness or the diameter of the plant. Now, I have given two examples of lateral meristem, very common examples, vascular cambium and cork cambium. Now we are coming to the next type of plant tissues, that is permanent tissues. Now permanent tissues, they have a very special characteristics that they are derived from the meristematic tissues only. So when the cells of these meristematic tissues have lost their ability to divide, they acquire permanent shapes, sizes and also perform permanent functions. So they are known as permanent tissues. Now again, I have jotted down some of the characters very briefly. It contains non-dividing cells, performs specific functions, large and definite shape and size, intercellular spaces present, helps in providing support, protection, and also conduction. Conduction, xylem and phloem, I hope you all have heard about these two tissues. So permanent tissues can also be found in xylem and phloem partially, and there it helps in the conduction. We'll come to that. And also it can be living or it can be dead. Now we will come to the first kind of simple permanent tissue, that is parenchyma. Again, I have jotted down some of the important characteristics of parenchyma tissue. I'll show you the picture of it. It has a large central vacuole. Cell wall is very thin and made up of cellulose. Intercellular space is present. Found almost everywhere in the plant, like in cortex, in pith, in palisade, in flowers, in seeds, etc. And also found in vascular tissues. Just now I have mentioned about it, xylem and phloem. Now, functions. Now there are some special type of parenchyma tissues which are named as different kinds of tissues, like chlorenchyma, which consists of chlorophyll in it, so it helps in the performance of photosynthesis in plants. Number 2, it helps also in storage of food. Third kind of parenchyma tissue we can find erenchyma, which helps in floating of aquatic plants because it is filled up with air. Number 4, transportation, or you can say conduction. And number 5, mechanical support, which is again provided by a very special type of parenchyma tissue, that is prosenchyma. Please go through your chapter if you have books, and if you don't have books, go through my notes. And now I'll show you a picture of parenchyma. See, this is the structure of a parenchyma tissue. We can see very large vacuoles, very prominent nucleus, and intercellular spaces in between, and you can also see very thin primary cell walls. So this is the basic structure of a parenchyma tissue. So students, that's it for today, and please go through all the notes, and if you can jot it down from here also, and next day we'll go through the other types of tissues. Thank you.